Welcome to John Wayne Lied to You, the podcast, featuring me, John Wayne, non-extreme horror writer, and musician, an awesome dude for life. Welcome to the show once again, and our second podcast in video form. Thank you all for everyone who's checked out the video, the inaugural video from last week. I appreciate it so much. If you haven't, hey guys, go to the YouTube channel. Please, pretty please. John Wayne Lied to You. All one word on YouTube. You could subscribe right there and watch it. But hey guys, I also make this super easy. All you have to do is go to johnwayneliedtoyou.com. There is a little, one of the menu things says podcasts. You click on that, boom! I have the video embedded right there at the website, so you can watch it there. You don't even have to go to YouTube. You don't want to mess with that YouTube bullshit. Oh, the ads. Oh, I don't want to see this and that. Just go right to johnwayneliedtoyou.com. You can watch it right there. So thank you again for everyone who's responded, everyone who has checked it out. I appreciate it. We didn't get any emails this week, but hey, we're starting it off slow. I'll remind you again, you got any questions, comments, anything you want to say, johnwayneliedtoyou@gmail.com. johnwayneliedtoyou@gmail.com. Please send us some feedback or just say hello because we love you all. Anyway, welcome to the show, everybody. Here I am in the Neon Palace of Sin in fabulous downtown Las Vegas, Nevada. I have, of course, here with, I have a nice cup of Joe. I know last week I was like, yeah, I'm cutting back on my coffee, and I am. I have cut back, but I still have to have a little bit every once in a while, and I'm going to drink some right here. This is great. Brewed it strong this morning. I had to go buy it strong this morning. My coffee maker is non-existent. But anyway, drinking it here out of if you're a video watcher, hey, I'm drinking it out of a John Wayne is Dead mug, official John Wayne is Dead skull mug. You can get those at johnwayneliedtoyou.com as well. If you go to the custom apparel tab, you can get this coffee mug, plus there's several other designs. So, good coffee this morning as we film and record. And oh, of course, I've got a nice big bowl of that Grandpappy's Medicine. A nice big green bowl there for the people at home. You can see, oh yeah, that's right. If I do that, it does something, or something like that. It doesn't matter. Whatever. It's beautiful. We're still learning the video, guys. I told you. We'll work the kinks out. It's going to be fine. I got a brand new pipe, too, for those of you who are watching. The other pipe I had, I know I'd put it on here, like, I got it a few months ago. It was broken accidentally, and so I was using that bubbler that I smoked out of last week's episode. That's a great pipe as well, but I needed an everyday driver, something like that. So I popped in. Oh, here's something. Had to get glasses, ladies and gentlemen. John Wayne finally had to get glasses. Don't worry, I only have to wear them to basically just see the television or very far away, but had to get them. Hey, that's it. And I don't get, I just get better and more awesome. So if it's time for me to have those glasses, it's probably because of an awesome reason. So got some glasses, but while I was picking up my glasses, right next to it, hey, little smoke shop. All right, I run in there, say what's up. Guys, a bunch of pipes. I got this little number right here. For those of you who can't see it, it's got a white bowl, all white, and then it's got it's red down the shaft of the pipe, I guess you could say. Stripe, not like a candy cane, but like red on translucent red. To me, I look at this pipe like, I was like, what does this pipe remind me of? There's something, this pipe just reminds me of something, and I figured out what it was last night. The Marvel Comics villain, Omega Red, the Russian guy that I think he's portrayed by Mickey Rourke in maybe Iron Man 2, I think. I don't know, I haven't really watched those movies, but I know that they put that villain in one of them. He doesn't look anything like he does in the comic, but in the comic, his color scheme is exactly this pipe. It's exactly this. Like, look him up. Maybe I'll throw a picture up here of Omega Red just to show you guys who are watching, because I have the ability to do that now. But anyway, hey, cool new little pipe, and $15, not that bad, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, in this pipe, of course, you guys know I had to stop over at Local Oasis, my dispensary here in my little neighborhood in Las Vegas. And I love it to death. They were not busy at all. Got to chat with my homies in there, my favorite bud tenders, chatting for a little while, cutting it up. But I came home with a couple of good things, but this one I'm very, very pleased with. This is Oh, before we even get into it, let's see this. Here it is. This is from a company called Good Green, if you can see that. And how do I get that to work? Oh, there we go. Boom. Good Green. And it is one of my all-time favorite strains, and probably one of y'all's as well. Jack Harar. Oh, I love this strain. Love Jack Harar. This one only happens to be 24%. Sometimes I get this and it's a little higher or lower, whatever. It's always good. It depends on who's growing it, I guess, or how they do it. I'm not a scientician, but I'm a smokertician, and I love some Jack Harar. So we're going to have ourselves a nice little taste of Grandpappy's Good Green Medicine. Here we go. So good. I knocked over Michael Myers back here. That's all right. Oh, yeah. Awesome. I love that weed. This is not branded content. I'm not getting paid to do this. I wish I was. Oasis, give me a call. But, I just like to share with all of you guys at home, my listeners. I know a lot of us are a good weed smoking bunch, and I just like to let you know what's going on with me over here. Got the coffee, got the weed, and we are ready to go. Major shouts out to all of my Patreon supporters, guys. Thank you so much. Again, I related it last week how important you guys are to me. It's not just like, because the Patreon people give me extra money or whatever. That is honestly an amazing form of support that has helped me out tremendously. We could have a whole podcast where I just talk about how having that little extra has saved my ass many, many times. But it's the support as well. Just knowing that those people support me and that you all support me. So it's not like I'm here like, hey, give me money. It's just another way to support me, another way to let me know that you guys are on the side of good here and art, and we are going to make it happen. So if you'd like to, please check out my Patreon, patreon.com/johnwayneliedtoyou, or again, guys, just go to johnwayneliedtoyou.com. Hit the Patreon link. It'll take you right there. I've got all kinds of good stuff up there, including last week, my episode, my Awesome Dude for Life Boner bonus episode, which everybody, no matter which tier you're subscribed to, gets access to that. It's what I put on the wall. Everyone can watch that. That is a video podcast now as well. There is over 135 episodes, so you got all the access to the back ones. Last week, I had an awesome episode where I talked to a fellow author, and he is also a very funny comedian, RJ Benetti. Jamie, what's up? Fool, very funny man, very funny person, and a great writer. Slappening, of course, I narrated his book that he wrote with Judith Sonnet and Edward Lee, The Amityville Bukkake. I will be working with Jamie again here coming up to narrate another one of his books, so it's good. And that was a fun conversation. If you missed out on that, at least go back and listen to the snippet that I put in last week's episode of Jamie and I talking, because we're in the hotel room at AuthorCon in St. Louis, right? And it's like 3:30 in the morning. And when I was listening back, putting it up, and I'm like, man, Jamie sounds okay. I sound like it is 3:30 in the morning, and I've had several whiskeys, which is what I did. So that's what it sounded like. It is a great episode. It's very funny. So check out at least the snippet. Check out RJ Benetti. Go to Patreon. You can watch the entire or listen to the entire one. There's no video on that one because we were in the hotel room and we were kind of hammered. But anyway, check that out. A lot of good feedback from that. You don't want to miss it. But if you'd like to, check out all the other stuff that I do on Patreon. The videos, the readings, the performances. I put it all up there for you guys. Plus advanced information about releases and things coming up. So patreon.com/johnwayneliedtoyou. Thank you guys. I appreciate you all so much. So let's see what else is coming up. Travel news. The new year is here, guys, and Texas, big and bright stars and all that shit coming back to Texas for the first road show of the year. I will be in San Antonio, Texas at the Children of Horror. It's at the Fredericksburg Mayhem Mall or something like that. But it's in San Antonio, Texas, the Children of Horror celebration of horror, January 25th and 26th. And that's the weekend of my birthday, everybody. So if you really want to come out and show some support for old Uncle Johnny on his B-Day, just come out. If you're in the San Antonio area or Austin or whatever, you can get there quick. You can come see me and we can chill, whatever. But anyway, no, I'm excited to go there. Hoping to stop in at Ghoulish Books, the Ghoulish bookstore run by amazing author, very talented Max Booth III. If you're in San Antonio, don't come see me. Go see him first, and then if you have time, come see me. I'm stoked that in March, I believe it's in March, I'll be at the Ghoulish Book Fair festival that he puts on. So I'm stoked to do that. I'm sure I'll get to talk to him, but very, very excited. I'll already be in Texas shooting some stuff that I'll tell you about in just a second. But from there, I'm going to go on to San Antonio, and it's going to be a great start to this year to kick it off in Texas at a show like this. I'm very excited to be there. I'm stoked that they let me on kind of last minute. So thank you guys if you're listening. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. So come out and see me, and also be sure to check out johnwayneliedtoyou.com on the show's page for all my dates and where I'm going to be all this year. Of course, they'll be jumping around, changing, things like that. So another announcement. This is, because it's out there, let me back this up. There's going to be a official hard launch for this, with all kinds of promotion and promotional materials and promotional content coming in the next week or so, 2 weeks probably. But here's a little sneak peek, because we did soft launch this, and there are people who are aware of it and who have even subscribed to it already. But I'm here to officially announce to you the soft launch of the Puss and Goose OnlyFans. That's right, everybody. John Wayne has an OnlyFans. Crank up your hornies and let's get started. This is it's not your typical OnlyFans. I know what the first thing that people think when that comes to their mind is like, tits, or fucking, or pussies, or at least those come to my mind. But this is like only part, kind of not really like that. That it is sexy, but not in that way. I do this. This is a joint project with my very good friend, the amazingly talented Dana Graham. You know her, Miss Marie King, Miss Dana Marie King. She's been on the show many times. She's done a lot of my tattoos, my neck, my abortogram over here. You can see. Oh, that's not there. It's right here. Oh, there it is. And she's a talented performer as well. She does circus shows. She's a ringmaster. It's all this crazy shit, fire spinner. Anyway, she had this idea and presented it to me, and we've been working the last few months on it to get it going. And what Puss and Goose are characters that Dana and I play. And what you're watching when you come subscribe to the Puss and Goose OnlyFans, and that's PUSSNGOOSE, Puss and Goose. What you'll see is two very attractive people, myself, Dana, playing these characters. We are all dolled up, looking lots of great looks, I think. And one of us starts reading smut, right? Like some real gritty, nasty smut from a book, performing it, while the other one stands behind at an easel with a canvas and just begins to paint. While, say, I'm reading, Dana paints. Then we just randomly will switch, and I'll give her the book, and she's got to come out and read a sexy thing while I just continue the painting, right? And it's got a 2-camera shoot, so you get to see what's going on in the back on the painting, as well as it cuts back to the person reading and back and forth. And it's really fun. We usually switch at least twice, and it's fun to see what the painting comes out to be at the end. So this is the beginning of this. This is a soft launch. There's a couple of episodes up now. The rest of the episodes will be, start dropping here within, week after week, most likely. Plus, there's a lot of still images that will go up. Plus, there's a lot of join our Instagram right now. Get in on the ground floor at Puss and Goose, PUSS, the letter N, GOOSE, and we'll have a lot of really funny promos that we shot that will be going up there. This is a very cool project. It's funny. It's got a lot of charm to it. And Dana and I are going to be working to bring this to being a live stage show as well, where we actually do this on stage for people, and then we will sell the paintings at the end, as well as incorporating some music in that Dana and I have written together as well. So this is like a big, cool project that I'm stoked to be a part of. Dana reached out to me to partner with her on this, and it's been a lot of fun. And I think you're going to enjoy it. So if you have any stigma about like, oh, OnlyFans, am I going to get like, what is that, just like titties and stuff? Yes, it is. But this is different, and this is a lot of fun. So check it out. The soft launch is here. Puss and Goose OnlyFans. PUSSNGOOSE. I'll probably put it down here somewhere in the video so you can check it out. But that's a big announcement because I have been working like tremendously hard on editing these videos, learning new software so I can do color correction and all, and just like have a stronger control and grasp on that. So that's been a lot of fun. It's learning new things. I enjoyed a lot, and plus the product is, the end result is really good, I think. So, and I think you'll like it as well. So please check it out now, and then you'll start seeing all the promotion rolling out very soon for that as well. Pussy Goose, the OnlyFans. So along with I get a little cup of coffee, a little drink of the coffee here, huh? Check out this Get Dead shirt that I have on. The wonderful, lovely Scarlett bought that for me when we went and saw them in the Co-Defendants a few weeks ago. Two excellent bands you should be listening to if you're not. I feel sorry for your mother. What'd you say about my mama? Anyway, another thing that I started doing that you guys have probably seen this week coming out, the promotional and stuff for it, and I've been posting about it, and a lot of you have been checking it out, but spread the word. I started doing another video segment. I'm doing a lot of new things this year. I got to mix it up. If you've been listening along and following along, you guys know, I hit a rough patch of some just like, what the fuck is going on with me? What am I doing? And I need to shake it up. I need to do something different. I need to pivot. So I'm trying new things, doing things a little bit differently this year. And one of the things that I'm doing is filming these segments in my office, and this is called Shit in John Wayne's Room. Now, it's not an invitation to come take a shit in my room. Very funny, everybody, I know. I actually do think that's pretty funny. But this is where I talk about certain things in my office here. The Neon Palace of Sin, as I call it. A lot of people see in the videos things in the background. They're like, what's that? Or, hit me up like, why do you have that thing? Or what's the deal with that? So I decided that, hey, why don't I just tell everyone about certain things in the office? And so I've started those segments. They're out there right now. They're on the John Wayne is Dead YouTube channel. Or, hey, guess what? They're at johnwayneisdead.com too. On the John Wayne's Room link. You just have to go there. They're right in bed. I make it so easy. I try to make it so easy for you guys. But those have started coming out. One is out now. There'll be another one out in a couple of days. I've been filming these, having a lot of fun with them. And right now I'm starting with my guitars. It's the guitar edition. So I'm going one by one through the guitars that I own and telling you basically each episode is about one guitar. And I tell you the specs about it, kind of like the nuts and bolts, so to speak, of the guitar itself. I show it off. And then I tell you how I do this, what kind of strings I use, if I have it set up a certain way, if I change the pickups out, what do I do? And then I like to tell you a story about how I actually came into owning that guitar, or another significant story about that involves that particular guitar. So it's a lot of fun. Check that out as well. Just another way to see into the shit in my room, shit in John Wayne's room. That's over at johnwayneistead.com. Let me see. Am I missing anything down here? Catch up. Yep, going on the trip, travel. I do want to say, as I am recording this right now, sadly, California is on fire in many different areas. And, us being here in Nevada, we're close to that. And we have made a lot of strong connections and good friends with a lot of LA people in LA doing the shows that we go to back and forth. So it's scary. We're worried, but we are hoping that we've been in touch with our friends and made sure that they're all okay, but they are being evacuated. It's a scary situation, so please keep an eye on that. Any help that any of us are able to throw their way coming up, they're going to need it. So it's a dangerous situation, and it's a bummer. So just keep an eye on it, and let's all help however we can. So anyway, moving along from that, let's see. Oh, well, we talked about Patreon a little earlier, and we were talking about my conversation with the very funny, the very talented RJ Benetti. And you heard a little bit of that last week. So this week, we're going to do that again. Of course, I'm going to show you a little segment of what's going on over in the Awesome Dude for Life Boner Bonus podcast, which is on Patreon, which is where I talk to other artists of all kinds of disciplines from all over the world. And I have a great time on this show. I love to have a conversation. I love to get to know people. I love to talk about art and their process and disciplines and all that kind of stuff. So this is a great show. Like I said, there's over 135 episodes of this on my Patreon now, all of which are available if you sign up. This week, Let me speak English. I had the pleasure of speaking with a new friend of mine who I also did meet during that fateful St. Louis AuthorCon where Benetti and I did our podcast. I didn't record this podcast at the convention. I just met this person and we set it up and did it here. I got to speak with Aaron Liebold, author and awesome dude for sure. He is one of our Canadian brothers of the North. But he was, he's making his way down to these fine United States. Or I don't know how much fine they'll be for long. But he's been doing a lot of conventions. He did Texas AuthorCon last year, did a couple other dates, and he, he's bringing his books down here and getting out there and doing it. And it's very cool to see. He's got a great story, an interesting story, just dealing with addiction, coming out the other end, and then now working with people with addiction. It's a very cool, very great conversation. Aaron's an awesome guy. And so I want to play a little bit of that here. And yes, there is video for this one. So if you're watching on the YouTube channel, there won't just be a still image during this clip. You'll actually be seeing it as well. So here is a little bit of my conversation this week with author Aaron Liebold. Good to see you again, dude. Like I said, we met a few weeks back now, like maybe, 2 months or something in St. Louis, Missouri. Some say Missouri, down there at AuthorCon, the first AuthorCon they had in St. Louis. We didn't get to chat until Sunday. I wish we would have started chatting on Friday and had more time, but the time we had was good. And I was like, I got to get you on here to talk some more. So, man, tell the readers kind of about your, I've got a couple of your books, Genocide, and what is this, The Ballad of Gilead or Balt of Gilead? That's right. Yeah. Your style, like this, you look like you've got some extreme style, some kind of some psychological stuff. Tell me about your writing and your books, dude.
Usually my books are kind of grounded in reality, but they're horror, but psychological. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of hard to find genre. Like horror is my people, so I kind of naturally head towards horror. But the first book I ever wrote, it's not even published yet because it's got to be rewritten. But it was like I was just finishing. I was an addictions counselor. I am again now, but I was for like 8 years. I needed to find like something new for a passion, so I started trying to write books. So because that was kind of my whole life still, it was basically all about addiction. And then the second book was Genocide, and it had to be rewritten too, because you learn how much you need to grow as you look back at your old stuff, right? So,
right. Was this something? Did you always read and write? Was this just like something that always was in you that you did, or this was just like you decided like this? Because you like, if you want to talk about like, you were an addiction counselor, you said, right?
Yeah.
And gone through addiction yourself and come out the other side. Yep. And however much you want to speak to that, but so was this kind of like how you got through this writing? Was that helpful to you? Or like, where did this come from? Was it out of that, or was it something you always wanted to do, I guess?
I kind of have a tendency to like have one passion that I focus on. And when I was younger, like from like young teenager all the way up until my mid 20s, I was trying to do music. So I wrote a lot of lyrics, but I had a hard time reading because I'd read and then like something would just trip my imagination and I'd zone off in thought and then like have to go back and reread all the paragraphs. So I haven't really been an avid reader since I started writing, which was like 2017. So writing it always was a big thing, but like I kind of realized like I suck at music. Like I made a CD in my 20s and it's embarrassing. Like it's really bad. Like and now that I'm doing writing, I'm realizing
And so you want to promote that right now? Is it streaming anywhere? We can all check.
no,
No? Okay, okay.
kind of
We'll
vague.
see. We'll do some digging out there, people. Let's dig. No.
But you know
Uh,
what? Oh, I just recently found all my lyrics, and I'm going to put out a poetry book hopefully next year. Because I thought I left them all at my first house, and then I just found them going through stuff. So I'm doing a poetry book that's kind of like I've been in a bit of a transitional period, and it's kind of like documenting that, and then flashing back to the songs and lyrics that I wrote when I was younger, the ones that I still feel. It's kind of weird. It's kind of surreal to go back through and like remember how you felt when you were a teenager. You know what I mean?
oh, absolutely, dude. I have a couple of those books just full of my angsty high school and early college poetry, just like and it is quite an experience to go back and look at those because I think you're right. There is a still a certain connection with some things. You can see that okay, that still resonates with me today as it did back then. But other things, you're like, man, I'm so glad I grew up some from this because this is just what a whiny bitch I was, things like that.
Yeah, those ones got taken out. The ones that I still resonate with are pretty much the ones that I tried to keep in there. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, and just how far you evolve, right? Like it's just I
Mm.
don't know, but it's a good thing because it shows you that you're growing. I feel some people struggle to grow in general and just stay 17 for their whole lives, right? So
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So you started writing and the is the like having the books published and being out like hitting the road with them, is that a new thing? How long has that been going on?
yeah, so when I quit the rehab, I was like really kind of nervous because I'd never been sober without that job. So I like tried to figure out what I was going to do for a passion. So the first book I published was in 2020, and that was Genocide. And it was like really not great. The publisher was not great, but I didn't really know anything.
Mm.
So um, I actually met my current publisher there. He was publishing some short stories with them, and we've been like connected ever since. So like when that place went down, I went with another one that also went down. So
And that's
after
Gloomhouse Publishing, correct?
Bloomhouse is the one I'm with now. Yeah, that's James.
Yeah,
He's the one.
James.
Yeah,
Yeah, I met him also. Cool guy. Shouts out, James.
yeah, he's been a huge support like since back in 2017 or whatever when I started publishing 2020, I guess.
Mm.
But yeah, now I have one with Broken Brain. I have a D&T one. I have Shadow
Oh,
House
cool.
James, and yeah, so I'm trying to like I don't know. After my divorce, like shortly after my divorce, both publishers folded, and I went from having two books published to none.
Right.
So it was kind of good because they both got rewritten and like put out with James, like with
Hmm.
Bloom. It worked out, but it was just like I don't know that feeling of being deflated. But um, yeah, now I'm just kind of trying to branch out and challenge myself too, like try to hit publishers that like I think will be more difficult to get in with and put the challenge out to up my game. And I really want like everything I write to feel like it's the best thing I've ever written.
Oh, absolutely. Of course. Yeah, and again, that speaks to the growth we were talking about. You always want to, break, break the expectations, go beyond the expectations, even that you have for yourself, especially with art. And we're always our worst critics and it's all subjective, but of course you want to grow and like your thoughts change, your feelings change. And, we put that into our art and that's kind of a reflection of things and people relate to that. So of course you don't want to put out the same book 100,000 times. Unless
Yeah.
you do, and then I don't know what the fuck to tell you. But that works for some people, I guess. So, uh, where was I going with this? I'm super high. So did you go to that dispensary with us in Missouri? Did you go?
No,
Dude, we
no.
got fucking beat there, man. We got fucking beat. I'll tell you why. Like it was a dispensary. Hey, come to the dispensary. Look at us. And I was like, all right. And I went down there with the homeboy, like JC Moore or whatever. And I walk in and I should have, I blame myself, dude. I blame myself because there's some pretty girls in there and like, come in, get some weed. I'm like, okay, cool. We get some and I'm like, oh, that and this, and let me get chocolate on my bar for my father, and like just blah blah blah. We walk out there, we're smoking this joint, and I'm like, man, this tastes weird, but whatever. We go back inside. I'm driving, I'm leaving St. Louis, and I light up one of those joints. I'm like, why does this taste so different? What is up with this? I look, and it's like 1.2% THC, 40% THCA, which is that fucking bullshit, like light it on fire and it becomes THC or some shit like that, which I don't know. I was like, wow, this fucking sucks. I was so fucking upset. Um, but
Yeah,
anyway, that ever happened to you?
I don't know. I haven't smoked weed really since high school. I've tried it off and on, but I just don't like it. I live like 10 minutes away from a native reserve, and they
Yeah,
have
yeah.
probably like 15 dispensaries, and they sell like super cheap shit. I've just never. Every time I would do it, I'd be like, "Oh yeah, this is why I don't like this."
Right. No, that's not for everybody. Is that like, are you completely sober from everything? Like you're just raw dog in life or
I mean, I'm kind of still drinking,
yeah,
but well, you know that. But
a couple
otherwise,
beers here and there is fine. I mean, like, but
you don't know. I mean, I was into heroin and stuff, so like, it's not really a casual drug that you can just
no, no, no. Yeah.
and like, I don't know. I mean, I would maybe dabble here and there, but nothing. I know I can't really, right? Like, I know it's not like
No,
it.
yeah, no, absolutely. I was just curious of like how, like, everybody's thing is different, So, some people are like, I'm just California sober or whatever the fuck that means. Like, I guess that just means you still do a bunch of blow, which is whatever. But, um, yeah, it's interesting. And so in your writing, like, obviously you've been through a fuck ton of things I can only imagine. And at least experienced a lot of stuff within yourself. Is that reflect in your writing, you think? Are you putting a lot of that into this? I mean, outside of the poetry, but like, or are you mostly like gonna kind of making a transition to poetry more than uh prose or fiction right now?
No, prose is definitely my jam.
Okay.
I find like some of my books more so than others, and then some of them are just kind of for fun. Like some of them are just like ones that I had a cool idea and wanted to roll with it. But I'm trying the one that I just finished. I feel like was kind of a reflection of part of this part of my life. I ended up putting somebody in the book that was actually in my life, so it kind of got. I don't know. I'm trying to add more emotion to it and make it more meaningful than just fiction. And I'm trying to find my balance and how to do that. And I don't know. I'm doing my best. Like I'm still going to find it, but it's always evolving. It's always changing. So I think it kind of depends on where I'm at in life at that point, and what's going on, and like what subject matter kind of comes to mind. I like to try to tackle like difficult subjects and see if I can do them gracefully. Kind of
Right.
like to that way.
No, absolutely. I think I feel, and I think I've talked about this before on podcasts, but like developing your voice, finding your voice and who you are. It's a long process. It's always kind of happening because you're never going to stay the same. We talked about growth and stuff. So even like finding your voice as a writer or as an artist and whatever your medium is, it comes different ways for everyone. Some people find it a lot faster than other people, but like you do through, like you said, just keep writing, you keep changing. But you're always gonna change, and your voices and style will always be different. And some people will accept that. Some people will be like, "What the fuck happened to him? He used to be cool." but but you gotta do, what's right for you, man. I'm going off the reservation here, man. I'm like smoking this fucking purple shit, drinking coffee. It's 8 a.m. here where I am in fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. I've been up since 5:30. I went to the gym already. I've drank half a pot of coffee, dude. I am ready for life today.
Nice. I'm gonna try to get some cleaning done today. I got the dishes done already, so
Dishes are done, man.
yeah. Don't tell mom the babysitter's dead.
Fuck yeah, dude. Such a great fucking movie. Trying to get my girlfriend to watch that. Um, so what kind of music did you make, dude? What was it, like a rock? It was in rock and roll. What are we talking? Like, what am I, grandpa? Was it the rock and roll? Were you playing the rock and roll? Okay, hey, that was a little bit of my chat with author Aaron Liebold from the Great White North, Canada. Awesome guy, great conversation, great writer. Check him out. Look for him. Popping. He might pop up at one of these conventions by you. So look out for him. Check out his stuff. The mail strike is over in Canada now. Just a couple of days ago, I because of all the things I ship out, my shipping app program, whatever, sent me a thing that's like a notification. Oh, the strike is over as of January 6th. You can send mail to Canada. And I was like, glory be. So now the good news about that is that you can order stuff from Aaron's site and check him out. So moving right along with the show, with the new format of the show, one of our new segments that I have brought to this fine program is a little something I like to call What You Reading For?
What you reading for?
Okay, so what you reading for? Just so you, for everyone out there, the segment is I'm talking about each week what book I'm reading or have just recently read, and tell you a little bit about what I think about it, and get it out there and let you know. So what you reading for this week actually is a book by one of my favorite authors, but not one of my favorite books by him. And this is actually a collection. This is The Box by Richard Matheson. So, Richard Matheson, for those of you who know or do not know, maybe probably the most popular thing that, the mainstream people would know that he wrote was I Am Legend, which, the modern made Will Smith adaptation movie several years ago, 10, 15 years ago. But that movie's been made with Charlton Heston, called Omega Man, and it was called also The Last Man on Earth with what's that guy? It's his name escapes me. The main the guy that's always the vampire guy, whatever. I don't know, but it's been done movie wise a couple of times. The book, it's actually a kind of like a novella story. Excellent, heart wrenching. Cried twice reading that story. Also, what may know Richard Matheson from is The Twilight Zone. He wrote the bulk of the series, dude. He wrote very, very many episodes along with Charles Beaumont and Rod Serling, among others. But, he's written some of my favorite episodes, and I love always like seeing his name pop up before an episode, because I watched The Twilight Zone. The old Twilight Zone, probably at least 3 or 4 days a week I have it on, just chilling while I'm either doing something or I just sit there and watch it to fall asleep. I love that show. So, me liking Richard Matheson as an author that's a no-brainer. And I really do. This collection, though, not the strongest, at least as far as I'm concerned. There's I'm going to get my notes here so I don't fuck this up, but there's a lot of stories in this. It's like I said, it's a short story collection. The main story, now, this says on the cover, it says features Button, the basis for the suspense thriller. So I'm guessing Button was a movie at some point. But I don't understand how it could be. I mean, you're really having to flesh a lot out, because the story Button in this book is like, it's like 5 pages long or something. It's so short. And very anticlimactic, as far as I think. But now you have to also, realize that all of these stories take place between, they were published originally between 1950, as early as 1950, and as late as 1963. Those are the original publishing dates. Now all of these stories have been republished countless times in different collections or magazines, shit like that. This collection as well. So these are old stories, and I think that has something to do with why some of them don't really resonate too well. But maybe it's just me. So, Button, the main story, like what happens is this stranger presents this couple with a box, and it has a button inside of it. And he says, you could push this button and out from the mechanism. No, it will kill somebody in the world who you don't know will die, but you will get $100,000. Like I said, this is back in the day. So $100,000 is a lot of money to them. And they're like, ooh, I don't know. And I'm just going to spoil this one for you, because it's kind of like, really? That's what you did? And you can, whatever. If you don't want to listen to how this ends, hit the 30-second button ahead. But basically, the husband goes off to work one day, and the wife can't take it anymore, and she pushes the button. And then she gets a phone call, like almost immediately, that says like, oh, we're so sorry, but your husband was killed in a automobile accident, and also the insurance payout for you is $100,000. And she's like, what? No. And she, somehow gets a hold of the guy, or calls the phone number, and she's like, I thought the person who died, I wasn't supposed to know them. And the guy says, this is so lame. He's like, oh, my dear, did you really think you truly knew your husband? And that's the end of the fucking story. So it's like, okay, dude, I guess. Like, anyway, like I said, I'm a little nonplussed about that. My standout story in this collection for me is one called Girl of My Dreams. This is cool because there's this couple and this, not even a couple, this man who has this woman that he's basically holding hostage or exploiting her ability to have, she has dreams about how people will die, like when, what time, and how. And when she has these dreams, he makes her like tell them to him, and they go to the people's house and basically say like, yo, we know that you're gonna, she has this power, you're gonna die this point and this point, unless if you pay us $10,000, we'll tell you so you can avoid it, right? So I thought that was super fucking clever, how it worked out, or how that played out. And of course, I'm not going to spoil that one for you. It's that one's pretty cool. Also, this was a fucking fun story. This should have been made a Twilight Zone episode, I think. This one is called A Flourishing of Strumpets, and this is basically about door-to-door hookers. That is what it is. For some reason, like these, at this time, like it's all of a sudden come about that's what there's going to be. So this couple is at home, and they're so offended by these women coming to their house, that start coming to the house at night to like, basically, hey, you want me to give you a blowjob or whatever to the husband, and they're calling the police, and the police can't find them, and like, well, we don't know what's going on because everybody's doing it. So, eventually, like, everybody's fucking these chicks, and then one night, like, the doorbell rings, and the guy goes to answer it, and it's a man hooker that's like, hello, sir, is your wife home? I hear she may need some assistance. And that one's pretty fun, too. But, like, again, not like, you're not like, oh, I don't see that. But those are my favorites from the collection. The box, it's by Richard Matheson, definitely worth reading, for sure. I guess maybe I don't mean to make it sound like it's awful. I'm just like the way I'm talking about it, because it is good. It is worth reading, especially if you're a Twilight Zone fan or Richard Matheson fan, of course. But that's our What You Reading First segment right now for this week. The Box by Richard Matheson collection. Check it out. Okay, so that was our What You Reading First segment, and now we are going to our next segment. Well, got a lot of reaction to this, a lot of people. As I told you last week, my mom has been involved in a lot of this, very supportive, loves to help, loves her movies. So I said, Mom, why don't you come on the show? I'm going to give you your own segment called Mom's Movie Corner, where you can talk about these movies and have a platform, and I welcome it. So, without further ado, here we go. This is this week's edition of Mom's Movie Corner. Oh, thank you, John Wayne. Welcome to Mom's Movie Corner. Thank you so much for joining me again. This week, as you know, well, let me just reset. This segment came about because when my boys, John Wayne, Johnny, and J-Dog, were young, they wanted to watch movies, and I, as a good parent, would like to watch them first to make sure they were okay, and they usually were. So I love these kind of movies now, but nobody wants to talk to me about them. Nobody. Not the other moms. So John Wayne was so nice, he let me come on his show, and I get to talk about these movies. Now, this week on Mom's Movie Corner, we are talking about the 1990 film Class of 1999. Now, this movie was directed by Mark L. Lester and an uncredited writer on the script. Little fun fact, John Skipp. That's right, Mr. John Skipp. Now, that's one of John Wayne's friends, I know that. So, anyway, John Skipp, very talented writer, wrote The Light at the End. He wrote The Animal. He wrote part of Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5. They took it away from him. It's his whole story. You can watch it on the Nightmare documentary. But anyway, very nice little tidbit there about John Skipp. Anyway, so this movie, it puts us in a dystopian 1999 in which everybody is young and in a gang, and nobody is not white. The whole movie. So we're in 1999. We follow our hero Cody. Just gets out of jail for they just say for being in a gang. So I don't know. And for some reason, they're opening a new high school in the middle of what they call a free fire zone. Now, in the free fire, there's lots of violence at this time. In the movie, I guess they imagined this period being very violent. But the free fire zone is an area that is cordoned off where the police will not intervene. They will not go into. The gangs run that territory. Now, in the very middle of this free fire zone, they open a high school. I know. Good idea, right? So anyway, we follow. But here's the thing. The reason they're opening it there is because they're doing some shady business and they don't necessarily want a lot of people around. Now, I said no cops could come, but they have their own private security force at the high school. And we follow our hero. He picks up he gets out of jail. He gets his brother, his friend. He says, I'm done banging, boys. No more gangs for me, but let's go to school. What a message. They go straight from jail to the school. That's right. And here, everybody has weapons. This is the one thing that I think that the movie predicted right. Everybody's got to give up their Uzis, their AKs, their brass knuckles, their samurai swords, all of the weapons as they come into school. Now, these are all just these crazy kids going to this school with no respect for anybody, not even themselves, as far as I'm concerned. Just misbehaving, just to start trouble for no reason. Right? You would think, well, what teacher is going to want to do this? This sounds like a nightmare of a job. Well, I'll tell you what kind of teacher wants to do this, a cyborg teacher. And that is the crux of the film, ladies and gentlemen. The teachers at this school, one of them, starring Pam Grier, plays one of the teachers. They're robots. And we have a very creepy-looking Stacy Keach character with white eyes and white hair and a weird ponytail. It's very off-putting. He is working with Malcolm McDowell, who is the principal of this school, to say that, they're going to rehabilitate these kids. They're going to get them into education again because these teachers, they're robots. They're not going to take any shit. And they're not going to take any shit. And they're going to enforce the rules and educate. Well, as you can imagine, things don't go as planned because once the kids start acting up, which is all the time, the teachers, robot teachers go through like the menu and it's like educate, no, discipline, yes, violence, yes. And they just resort right to violence. They're punching these kids, they're breaking their feet, they're doing all kinds of stuff. And then they start to kill these kids. And then that's when we find out that these robots are actually military killbots that are being put in as an experiment in the school to see how well they could control them before they ship them off to war. So, our hero, Cody, of course, falls in love with the principal's daughter, who is like the most normal person at this school. She just looks like a regular person. Everybody else is Mad Max. But she wanted to go so she could be amongst the degenerates, I guess. Anyway, the robot teachers kidnap her, hold her hostage at the school. And then old Cody has to rejoin the gang, get the bangers back together, go to the school to save her, and of course, hilarity ensues. I give this is a thumbs up from Mom. I have to say, I love a good educational message because school is very important. My boys all did very well in school. J-Dog did his best. That's what we say, his best. So that's good. That's good enough. So I love a good education, uplifting educational story. And I love a good love story. So I won't spoil this one for you, but please check it out. Class of 1999. It's on Tubi for watch it for free. And Class of 1999 Part 2 is on there as well. Probably coming soon. I think I heard John Wayne say he's going to watch a movie with me this week. Did you? Yeah? No? Offline? Okay. Anyway, okay. Well, that's it. Thank you again for joining me for Mom's Movie Corner. Oh, that's nice. Okay. Thanks, Mom. Appreciate that. Yeah, that was a good one. I look forward to watching the sequel with you. Maybe this week we'll watch it together, Mom. I don't know. We'll see. So, anyway, thank you guys I hope you enjoyed Mom's Movie Corner. So, This is usually where we tell a story about something that happened, or I recap a con. Last week I had my harrowing tale of trying to steal vodka from the New Year's celebration. I don't have anything like that this week because, I'm about to start traveling. I'm about to be having recaps. I'm about to be telling stories about filming OnlyFans and fucking going on tour with Chris. And we have all this stuff coming up. There's going to be a lot of stories. But I wanted to talk, I guess, about, I mentioned earlier, it's been, last year was a rough year. I had some low points, times where I thought I wasn't going to do this ever again. I was going to not, you weren't going to see me on any of these platforms. I was going to be done. You weren't going to see my writing. I was really at a point, and I do have to say, I very much appreciate the support that I have from my friends and my family to help me through that. And if you listen to the few episodes ago, I wrote that essay about kind of coming through the other end. So now that I've renewed my vigor, I've refocused my intentions. That's what I wanted to talk about this year. This is going to be a good year. 2025, John Wayne don't take no jive. And I want to talk a little bit about, like, just briefly talk about this, about meditation. So, I like to meditate daily, and it's different for everybody how you do it. There's not really a right or wrong way. There's nothing you need to necessarily think about or not think about. You don't have to know some mantra. This is all for yourself. But I had to, like, reconnect with this time, I guess. And it's interesting because so let me start here. When I was in a band called Harem Festival years and years ago, it's like the first tour I ever went on across the country was with this band. And, this isn't glamour, there's no one representing us, saying, all right, guys, here's your schedule. This was all me. I scheduled all of this for the band. I sent countless emails, phone calls. It took me months to get and it wasn't even a lot. It was like 6-7 dates. So, but a lot of them were we started in Texas and we played in, I think, New Mexico, Arizona, but then it ended 3 days in California, something like that. So, I'd never even been to California before this, before that point. And this is early 2000s, very, very early 2000s, just to put a date on it. And when we got there, one of the places we played was close to San Diego. It's called Dog Beach. It's a little beach town called Dog Beach with Dog Beach on it. And the motel we were staying in, myself and the other two guys in the band, was right there on the beach. And so the day that we were playing, we didn't have to be at the place till the night. So in the morning, we all went down to the beach and just sat on the beach and looked. And I'd never seen blue ocean water before. I thought that was just like the movies or whatever, because I've been to the beach a ton of times in Texas, but the Gulf of Mexico is like green and dirty and brown, or it's not blue water. And I remember just sitting there and just watching these waves roll in at this crystal blue color that was just captivating. And I just stared and stared at it. And my buddy, our bass player James, was sitting on the right of me, and he just looked at me and just said, "Cheers, man." And I was like, "Yeah, dude, cheers." And it was at that moment I realized, you know what, dude, I've been able, this was a manifestation. I declared I wanted us to do this, and I was able to manifest it. Not through magic like that, like a hookah-pokah, hocus-pocus, magic a different way, but declaring the intentions, putting the work in, and then boom, there we are. So whenever I'm trying to center myself and really declare what I'm going to do and get into the right headspace, and I have to let myself not forget about this, because I do it now daily again. I had to get back into the habit. When I meditate, I put myself on that beach, right? I sit there and I'm in my mind. I can see it. I can hear it. I can smell it. I hear James say cheers to me. And it just puts me there and lets me know, you know what? You did this. The things that you did brought you to this, and this is where you wanted to be. And that has continued that has been prevalent throughout my life. And I just didn't think about it like that. I just didn't realize it until I had to get kind of knocked around by the universe to be yo, get your shit back together. Look, you've done this before. Look at the scales that these things are done. And I'm using myself, of course, because the story it's mine, but this is general for everybody. We've been through stuff before, and we've manifested our goals for ourselves. We've done it, and we're just not even acknowledging it, or maybe even recognizing the importance of it, and the mindset and the work and the patience that all goes into that. Sometimes we lose sight of that. At least I did for a brief period of time. So I just want to, before we get out of here for the day, just say that there's a place or a point in your life somewhere you can go back to, like that beach place for me, and see something just connects you right back and can kind of show you, like, look, we did this once, we're going to do it again. It's going to work. It's going to work again. We did it. We already did it. We know it works. We get out of our own way and do it. So, that's all I wanted to talk about story-wise today. Just a little inspiration from Uncle Johnny, or just letting you know where I'm coming from. I'm approaching this year with a lot of optimism, a lot of hope. I think it's going to be a great time, and I can't wait to get out there and see everybody, which I will be doing starting January 25th and 26th in San Antonio, Texas. So go to johnwayneliedtoyou.com for details on that. Thank you all for joining me for another episode of John Wayne Lied to You, the video edition, second episode for the new year, coming in hard and strong and fat and fast, thick, or whatever, I don't know, dick. So thank you guys again. Please check out my Patreon, patreon.com/johnwayneistead, or just go to johnwayneistead.com. Everything is there. You can hit the Patreon link. You can also go to the shop there, get some books. I will sign, of course, everything. I send extra art and everything when you order from me. Go to the custom apparel site. You can get a little John Wayne is Dead mug like this, plus all kinds of other goodies and good stuff, plus all my dates and details for this year's travel are on there. So check it out. Don't forget to follow me at John Wayne is Dead on Instagram. And I don't know how much longer TikTok will be around, but if it's still there, I'm at John Wayne is Dead on there as well. Also, check out the Shit in John Wayne's Room segments that are on my YouTube page, as well as spread the word about John Wayne Lied to You being on video, being on the YouTube channel all by itself. I want to keep the podcast thing separate from all the other stuff, so it's just its own entity. And don't forget, you can email us at johnwayneliedtoyou@gmail.com. Questions, comments, whatever you prefer. Say hey, I appreciate it. So thank you guys, and I will see you next week.